I'm your host, Mike Hill. With me today is Fernando Arroyo. Fernando is one of our IBG area dealer development coaches. Welcome, Fernando.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming today. You know, Fernando, we were just talking earlier about boot camp and how important boot camp is today. You know, as we've been doing F&I boot camps here at IBG for over 20 years. And when we have people come into the boot camp, we have both seasoned veterans attending boot camp, and we also have brand new business managers. Tell me about it. As far as that goes, what do you see as far as people attending and the reasons behind it?
Certainly. So one of the things that we've noticed is that for new F&I managers that are starting to understand the process, it's basically the fundamentals that they're going to be, taking advantage of this boot camp training. And, with the fundamentals, there's a lot that goes into it, but it's essentially is the process in F&I. Make sure that they don't skip any things that they shouldn't be doing, potentially. But, I think that's the main thing for the new business managers. For the seasoned veterans out there, it's going to be the refocus of the F&I products or potentially processes as well. And this allows for them to really understand the material, and when they're in front of the guests, explain the product the way that the guest kind of understand. It's allowed to understand the content a little bit easier, and therefore they see why is it so important for they to purchase the products.
So bottom line, whether it's a seasoned veteran or someone brand new to finance, they're going to get those fundamentals, the actual process. We have a sales process in selling cars. It's a different process in F&I.
Yes, it is.
So is this a compliance course?
No, it's certainly not a compliance course. Now, we do go over compliance, but it's not a compliance course. What we do here in boot camp, it's going to be the product knowledge more than anything, as well as the processes.
You know, a vital part to the boot camp is the presentation, the express menu presentation, presenting 100% of the products to 100% of the guests 100% of the time. We understand that that's the fundamentals to the express menu presentation. But with that being said, when we take a look at presenting the menu and learning about all the different products, what do you see to the advantages of that?
The advantage is tremendous. We see business managers that come to F&I Bootcamp, they come and they understand the product in more detail. That there's many times when we know products, we don't utilize those in the business office. That's because maybe we don't feel 100% sure or certain about, is this something that I like personally? And if we don't like it personally, then it's almost like sometimes we dismiss it and we do not even present it to the guest, and kind of contradicts the 100%, present the products 100% of the time, 100%, of the guest. And this just kind of a refresher, allows you to understand the product, be more secure and understanding of it. And if you believe something, when you present to someone, it comes from the heart. And a lot of people out there that I do not believe in the product, they just say the product, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And a lot of people tend to pick up on that. I think the F&I Bootcamp will allow you to potentially understand the product, make you more understanding of it, and make you believe.
One of the key parts to boot camp, one of the philosophies we talk about, is creating the why. And that's creating the want and need for the product that you're going to be offered in the express menu, but create the want and need for it, again, by creating the why on it, so that the express menu literally becomes the solution to the need that has already been created. Once we see that happen, what do you see on your side?
Well, typically what I see is when we're able to create the need and the want for a customer to buy, it's almost like there's business managers that have that aha moment or aha feeling because they know something is working. And the repetition of it is what really makes you very successful because you are perfecting your craft.
Well, you talk about repetition. That brings us to a vital part of our F&I boot camp, because we have numerous practice sessions, role play sessions on that. And you talk about repetition. Why do you think role play and practice sessions are so important? First of all, for the new finance person.
Well, for those that are new, once again, it's almost they haven't had the practice, or they haven't had the opportunities to interact with the guests in the business office. There's a couple of reasons why. You either come from the sales department, or you potentially are one of the desk managers. Either one, you might have a pretty good understanding in F&I, but you don't do the process the way that needs to be implemented. With our role play, it's not just the product knowledge, but it's also the repetition on how everything should be taking place. And again, it's the fundamentals in F&I. This allows an individual just to understand, hey, this is what I need to do day in, day out. I don't necessarily like to say that you need to be a robot. You need to adapt, meaning understand the process, the fundamentals, and then make it your own. At that point, that's when you become a true and very powerful F&I manager.
I like what you say, that you make it your own. In other words, one of the things we say right from the beginning, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different concepts. And every time we introduce a concept, then we have them practice that concept so they can get it. But are we doing memorization? No, we're not doing memorization. We're giving them the concept, putting some key words and phrases that they may want to use, but at the same time, they do have to make it their own. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, as far as the boot camp goes, Fernando, what's your favorite topic?
There's a lot of things that I really enjoy in boot camp. One of my favorite topics, though, is MBS, Management by Strengths. We talk about the 4 temperaments, and every individual has all 4 temperaments embedded within you, but one of those is your dominant. And typically, once you are presenting the products to a guest, you tend to present in your own temperament, which means that if we divide the 4 by 25, 25, 25, and 25%, you're presenting 25% of the population the way that you are, which means that you are potentially also offending the guest without really realizing that you're doing so by not communicating very effectively with them. So the reason why MBS is my favorite is because it gives you an understanding that, hey, there's other people that tend to have different buying power, if you would, or potentially ways of buying. And if you communicate very well in the way that they typically make decisions, you're going to be more effective in the business office.
So speaking to them in the way that they're going to best receive information.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and that is, for so many of the attendees coming to boot camp, we see that they're coming back out of there, and they're excited because now they understand that they're not going to present just one way. They can present 4 different ways, and it's not a huge change. It's just subtle changes here in the way they say things and the wording that they use that makes their presentation, which, by the way, is a conversation, one human being to another, a lot more effective. So, Fernando, now you're the area dealer development coach. You're out with your F&I managers. You visit them with them twice a month minimum, and I know there's a lot more often than sometimes that you're working with them. When these new attendees come back to the office and you start working with them, what do you see?
Well, we definitely see some increase in PVR, and we also see product penetrations go significantly higher. So that is one of the benefits of coming to boot camp, is because of the re-engagement in the process that needs to be implemented. It's needed for anyone.
For some of our seasoned veterans, and it's interesting, we have people that will sign up for F&I boot camp that their penetrations are excellent, their PVR is excellent. I mean, they're the top, they're the elite, and yet they still want to come back to boot camp, and they come back in there to re-engage. Basically, what do you see the results?
Well, once again, it's almost a personal development aspect where once you know this information, there's many times that we've all been there that has, been in the F&I department where we present products, we get complacent with essentially what is it that we like to offer. And by not offering 100% of the products 100% of the time to 100% of the guests, once again, it's a disservice not just to the guests, but to the dealership as well. So once again, by attending, those seasoned veterans are going to be more familiar with the product. They're going to feel more knowledgeable, and they're going to be able to educate others that why is it so advantageous for them to, move forward with the product.
It's interesting that you bring this up. I can't tell you how many times that maybe during a break, during the boot camp, we'll be talking, and a seasoned attendee will come up and say, "Mike, I'm so glad you brought up that particular product or that particular topic, because I thought to myself, wow, when did I stop saying it the way I'm supposed to say it? When did I stop presenting it the way I was supposed to present it?" They know what the concepts were, but they skipped them. They're just not doing them anymore, and they feel re-engaged and they feel enthusiastic and about getting back and really taking some of these basics, some of these fundamentals that they know they should be doing, and re-engage and take where they're already good, make it even better.
Yes.
Fernando, thank you for visiting with us today. This information that we've talked about as boot camp has been absolutely priceless. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mike.